What's up, guys? It is Monday, September 22nd. I have 13 orders to ship out. Let's get to work. I'm fighting a sinus infection, so if my voice sounds a little hoarse, that's why. First thing we're pulling is down here in B61. I sold... You know what? I sold both of these things, actually. Just go ahead and pull them both. I sold this Rawlings Renegade baseball glove. I only got a few dollars into that. That sold for $23.99 free shipping. And then I sold this fish paperweight. I got this at a garage sale. I think it's been a few weekends now. I only paid $1 for it, and I took a best offer of $33 free shipping. All right, going to D32 next. I sold another sweatshirt. These things have been flying off the shelves. This is the XL Navy, the Carhartt, and it sold for $29.99 free shipping. All right, coming to C31 next, and I sold, let's see, they're under here. I gotta move my cat statue. It is all of these Van Halen CDs. Let's see, this is a lot of 10 Van Halen CDs. I got these at a garage sale, I think it's been 2 or 3 weekends now. And I made a bundle deal, so where I got the CDs for 50 cents each, so I've got $5 into these. I think I had them listed for like 40 or best offer. I took a best offer of $33 free shipping. And I have to point this out to you guys. When I was a kid, I was maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, so we're talking late 80s. My dad had this cassette, and I remember being a kid looking at this artwork thinking, what in the am I looking at? There's a baby with angel wings smoking a cigarette. Just such an iconic album artwork there. But yeah, this is a good lot of Van Halen CDs. If you see CDs out and about and they're cheap, you know, if it's the right category, pick them up. Sometimes there's some money to be made. You know, hip-hop, rock, rap, that stuff does good. Country and pop, not so much. All right, C41 is where we're going next, and I sold this Pokemon Stadium game with the owner's manual, part of that big video game buy I made a while back. That sold for $29.99 free shipping. Going to A22, I sold a bobblehead. I think it's this one right here. This is the Queen City Sluggers. So this was a 2020 stadium giveaway for the Reds game, and it's got Ted Klaczewski, George Foster, and Eugenio Suarez, who's no longer with the Reds. I really miss Gino. I got this at a garage sale for $5. It sold for $22.99 free shipping. All right, we're going back to C31. I didn't realize I sold this, otherwise I just would have grabbed it at the same time. This is the set of 2 wireless controllers for 3DO. It is aftermarket, so not worth, you know, what the original 3DO controllers are, but the pair still sold for $59.99 for shipping. All right, we're going to C51 next, and I sold 2 bottles of perfume to the same buyer. They messaged me saying, hey, would you do $145 if I bought 2? And I said, yeah, and they sent like 2 different offers. So I was like, okay, however you want to do it, it's fine with me. The one offer was for $45 free shipping, and the other was $100 free shipping. So I got these in a bulk buy like 6 months ago. I've probably got about 30 into the pair. So for $145, I'm super happy to move those on down the road. All right, we're coming to D61 next. Sold another sweatshirt, also navy, except this one is a large, and I will be extra careful when I'm packing this to make sure I ship the large to the right person and the extra large to the right person. All right, back to C41. I sold this N64 game, Zelda Ocarina of Time, also part of that big video game buy I made. And a viewer named Cody bought this for his daughter, said his daughter's getting into Zelda games. Your daughter has excellent taste, Cody. Zelda is my all-time favorite. Link to the Past for Super Nintendo, my all-time favorite game. So Cody, thanks so much for the support. I really hope she likes the game. All right, this next one is really interesting. I got this at the Route 127 World's Longest Garage Sale for $1. This is just a piece of plastic, and as you can see, it's got cracks in it. It's not in the best shape, but it's pretty rare. This is a Michigan Rummy kitty tray. It's for a card game, and it kind of spins too. It caught my eye at the sale, and I'm like, I've never seen this before, so I looked it up, and sure enough, there was a market for it. If you can find one new in the packaging, it's worth like twice as much. But mine, how it is, sold for $29.99 free shipping. It's Tuesday morning. I have 5 orders to ship out, but before I do, I got a couple questions I want to answer. First one is from Darren Woo 3. Quick question. When organizing your inventory in those cardboard boxes, is there a way you divide your inventory, or is it just kind of random, whatever fits where, and you make a note of it in your listing for yourself? All right, so these are the boxes Darren's talking about. And yes, the way I do it is I just, whatever fits in there is I just put it in there. So whenever I go to list stuff for the day, I find a box that's either empty or half empty, whatever's got some space. And then when I'm creating my listing, I go to item specifics and then I scroll all the way down to the bottom and I'll find custom SKU. I'll do like a screen recording when I'm editing the video to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. But in that custom SKU, I put whatever it is, like B41. So for example, I'm trying to block the buyer's info, but you can see custom label B52. I don't know how well it's going to focus on that, but custom label B52 right underneath sold via promoted listing. So when I go to pull my orders, it shows it right there where it is under the custom label. So that does not show up to the buyer. When the buyer's looking at all the item specifics, they don't see the custom SKU, only you, the seller, see that. All right, next question is from TGD Jan007. Do you have to ask the shops if it is okay to search and take their garbage? I'm from the Netherlands and I don't think shops here would like it if someone goes through their garbage without asking. Most of the time the containers here are locked or behind a gate. So I can't speak to the rules in the Netherlands, but here in the States, there was a 1988 Supreme Court ruling that ruled that trash is public property. So anybody, business, personal, whatever, if they put their trash out, it is public property for people to go through and do with as they please. However, there are some municipalities and townships or whatever that can like go over that and say, you can't be rooting through people's garbage. But as a general rule of thumb, yes, trash is public property. Now, if an employee or somebody comes out and asks you not to do it, you know, just be nice, I guess, and don't do it. This actually happened to me a few years back. This was, I made a video about it too. I was going through the dumpster looking for boxes and I peeked in the other dumpster and they had thrown away, you know, like a baby stroller and something else. It was pretty early in the morning. It was like 7 or 8 a.m., like hours before the store opened. And this SUV ran up on me and this lady in the yellow vest got out and was like, put that back. I was like, what do you mean put it back? It's garbage. And she's like, yeah, but you could try to return it and get money. And I was like, what are you talking about? It was obvious that they were running some kind of scam where if somebody returned something that had just a little bit of damage, they would throw it out and then they would come back the next morning or whenever and take that stuff out of the garbage and do who knows what with it, you know, sell it, go to the flea market with it, something. There was something extremely fishy going on. But she was like, call the cops. I'm like, call the cops. I don't care. I'm not breaking the law by going through your dumpster. And I got the cop on camera, like even saying that he didn't give a you-know-what. So yeah, if you want to watch that video, I'll put a link down below. But yeah, just, I don't know, be respectful. But yes, generally speaking, in the States, trash is public property. All right, let's pull some orders. First thing is this accordion. I got this for free last weekend. It's only been a few days that I've had this. And the reason it was free is because the keys are messed up. It still makes noise. Like when I undid these clasps and pulled it apart and it was still making a lot of noise and sounded pretty good actually. But yeah, there's some issues with it. So she was giving it away for free. So I listed it for parts or repair and like pointed out all the issues with it. I listed for $150 free shipping or best offer. Somebody offered me $115 free shipping and I accepted. Okay, next thing is a backgammon set right here. So I need to move a couple of these things out of the way. I got this at a church sale. I think it's been about a month. And I've done really well selling backgammon sets. This one is not as old as some of the other ones that I've sold. I got it for $5 and it sold for $39.99 free shipping. Now, where you can really come into the money with these things is if you find some old sets that have Bakelite pieces. These are not Bakelite. These are just a basic plastic. But there is a good collector's market for vintage backgammon. So if you see them and they're cheap, pick them up because usually they're worth a little bit of money. And they're always unassuming like this. They're always just in like a case and you don't even know what's in there. Could be an art set, whatever. But yeah, just keep your eyes peeled when you're going through the board games. All right, going to B52. I sold this Nikon lens. The guy told me it was new, but it wasn't new. There was a couple things that tipped me off that it wasn't new. One thing is that it was missing the cap. So I think it's at least been used. Be extremely, extremely careful whenever you're listing stuff. If you're calling it new, make sure it's absolutely new. Comes with everything, hasn't been used. I usually err on the side of caution. If I think there's a chance it's been used at all, I just call it used. I paid $10 for this. It sold for $39.99 free shipping. Okay, going to D51 next. I sold another owner's manual for a video game. This one is Game Boy Advance Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap. It's a fun game. I played this one. That sold for $19.99 free shipping. All right, last thing I'm packing up today is this Street to Sky Batmobile. You guys saw me put this in a video when I was doing the Google image search. I got this at the garage sale about 6 months ago. I paid $3 for it. Took about offer of $42 free shipping. It's Thursday morning. I took yesterday off. The sinus infection got the best of me, so I thought I'd try to rest and recover a little bit. And I'm back at it today. First thing we're shipping. Let's see, we got 8 items to ship out today. First thing going out is in D51. I sold the Great Courses How to Sing DVD and guidebook. Together they sold for $24.99 free shipping. And those were part of that bulk buy, so I've got less than $1 into these. All right, next thing is also from that buy. So I've got less than 50 cents into this piece. And I sold a couple things out of here. Let's see, I know I sold this, and I know I sold this. This is the 7th seal. What caught my eye with this is this little C right here. It is the Criterion Collection. Some of you might know Criterion puts out special DVDs for, sometimes it's like movies that have never been released on DVD or Blu-ray. Sometimes they just want a better version to release it. Either way, these are super collectible. I think when they come out, you have to buy them from Criterion. Although, you know what? That's not true. I've seen them at like Barnes & Nobles. They're not super easy to get your hands on. That's kind of the gist. And I think when they come out, they're like $40-ish. They're not cheap. So when I saw this one sealed in a stack of DVDs as I was listing it, I was all over it. That one sold for $19.99 free shipping. But yeah, keep an eye out for the Criterion stuff. And then this one, the Heavy Water War, sold for $34.99 free shipping. This has the Nazi symbol, but from what I could tell, this isn't Nazi propaganda. This is a fictionalized movie about the efforts of the Nazis to develop the atom bomb. So it's kind of like a fictionalization type thing. But yeah, looks somewhat interesting. Almost like The Man in the High Tower. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that's kind of an interesting series. All right, we're going to B52 next. This is also something I got from the guy that I got the DVDs from. This is a radio, and the buyer already told me that they don't need the antenna. It had this big antenna, and I'm glad they don't need it because this thing's huge. I would need a much bigger box to accommodate for that. So we're just getting the power cord and the radio and the manual here. This is the Sangean WR22. I paid $25 for it. It sold for $69.99 free shipping. Next thing's in D31. It is a Panasonic remote. I got this at a garage sale a few months ago, and it had this combo player with it. It was like I think it was like a DVD recorder. And the guy knowingly told me, he's like, I can't get this into work, but it's $5. And my thought process was, well, if I can't get it to work either, I could sell it for parts, and I could probably get something out of the remote. So it seemed like it wasn't worth messing with selling that particular piece for parts. But the remote brought a little bit of money. That sold for $18.99 free shipping, so I still made a few bucks on that deal. All right, going to D61 next. I sold another sweatshirt. These are selling pretty quickly now that it is, the weather's turning. It's getting cold. Let's see, this is a large. Where's it at? I've been super careful with these tags, making sure that I'm shipping the right things because there's so many of them and they're all the same color and very easy to get them mixed up. I want to make sure the buyer has the right size. And this sold for $29.99 for shipping. Going to C52 next. I sold this hummingbird. I guess it's just hummingbird. There's no G. Piranha Max 4 fish finder. I got this at a garage sale last weekend. I paid $30 for it. It sold for $99.99 free shipping. All right, last thing I don't see. Where is it? I didn't have a custom SKU for it, which means that I normally leave it on a shelf, and there it is. It's hiding between these boxes. This is an interesting find. This is a basketball that is made to look like a car tire. It got all the grooves and everything. This is by Bridgestone. I got this at the world's longest garage sale, Route 127, and I paid $5 for it. It sold for $39.99 free shipping. All right, I'm packing up this sweatshirt, and I wanted to show you guys this. If you've never dealt with clothing or like plush or things like that, poly bags really come in handy. I use poly bags all the time, and that's exactly what I'm going to do with this sweatshirt. All right, I got it bagged up. I got the poly bag sealed, and we're going to weigh it. It is 1 pound 5 ounces. I promise you, if I had put this in a box big enough, it would have pushed it over 2 pounds, which would have upped the price of the shipping. So yeah, if you've got something that's not breakable like a sweatshirt, clothing, I use poly bags all the time. I like poly bags, and they save me a bunch of money for not having to buy the boxes and saving me money on shipping. So if you need any, I'll put a link down in the description of this video for the poly bags that I use. It's Friday morning. I have 5 orders to ship out, but before I do, I want to show you something I did this morning. I finally got my bubble wrap hung up, and the way I did it is I took some J-hooks up here, and then some carabiner clips, some rope, string, whatever. And then I had some PVC pipe right here in between. All in all, the cost of like the materials and everything was like, I don't know, $12, $13, something like that. I got the PVC pipe, which was like a 5-foot piece. I think that was about $5 or $6. The clips were about 75 cents to $1 each. Same with the J-hook, so maybe I'm closer to 15. But yeah, I had this set up before when I had a lot of ceiling space, and I absolutely love doing it like this because it's easy to swap in and out. I've done it before without a PVC pipe, and this stuff just wraps around the rope. It doesn't work. You really need a PVC pipe in between, that way it can slide up and down easily. And whenever I need to swap it out, I can get up on the ladder if I want to, but I also have this grabber thing that I've used for pulling out boxes out of the dumpster. And this thing will just grab it like this, come right off. I can swap it out and then put it right back up. Easy peasy. In case you're wondering, I get my bubble wrap from American Bubble Boy. I've bought from them for years. They have a great product and they ship fast. I'll put a link down in the description of this video if you need bubble wrap. And when you click on the link, it'll show like one roll for a price, but then you click on it and then it gives you other options. Like if you want to buy this many rolls, that many rolls, the price comes down just because the shipping cost is baked into that price. So if you're alarmed when you see like high prices, just click it and then you'll see some other ones. But yeah, I love American Bubble Boy. I've known Joel for years, and he just runs a great business. All right, let's pull some orders. I'm filming this on my iPhone because I left my GoPro at home. So if you notice a difference in picture quality, that's what it is. First thing is in D51, I sold Learning German. I had the DVD and the course guide workbook, whatever. This was in that bulk buy of stuff that I got. I guess it's just been a few days. It was a Monday that I picked it all up. So I've got less than $1 into the 2 pieces. They sold for $34.99 free shipping. All right, another thing out of D51 is this Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is the gold cart, so it is worth significantly more than just the gray cart. This sold for $69.99 free shipping. All right, coming to C41 next. I sold a lot of NES controllers. I almost said cables. Let's see, 1, 2, there's 6 of them here. Let's see if I can get them all in one shot. Awesome. All right, I think I got them all. 6 controllers. I decided not to do these individually because if I sell one, it's only going for like, I don't know, $10, $12 free shipping. It's going to cost me about $5 to ship the thing. So I just decided to do one lot of 6. And I sent a best offer. These sold for $38 free shipping. Sold another thing out of C41. It is that big lot of Pixar, Disney Pixar cars. I showed these in a previous video and talked about why I wanted to do an auction for these. And I started them at $1 plus shipping. Obviously, I can't bake shipping cost into an auction, so I just did plus shipping on this. It was calculated shipping. And they sold for $53 plus shipping. All right, last but not least, we're going to B32. This is a weird one. This is a Zavix port, or Zavix, I don't know. Not sure how you pronounce this. This is an interactive television computing. I'm sure at the time they thought that this technology was going to be amazing, but I don't think it really took off. It says you plug it into your TV, VCR, or DVD for interactive television computing. And then, like, you've got these different games. I think as soon as Wii came out, it just, like, blew this thing out of the water. This might have even been, you know, a ripoff of the Wii. But, yeah, they made a lot of different products, and none of them really took off. The only reason this sold is because it's all new inside. There's not that big a demand for this stuff, but I got it in that bulk buy. I was happy to get what I could get for it. It sold for $34.99 free shipping. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.